Last thing for you, JJ, before we get up out of here, brother. Best in the West, beast in the East. Right now, it's only a small handful of games. I know this, but when you look at what we've witnessed so far, who is the best team in the Western Conference in your opinion? And who is the best team in the Eastern Conference right now in your opinion?
Well, let's start with the Eastern Conference because I think there's a little more parity in that conference. Right now, Boston is undefeated.
Yep.
Philly's playing pretty well, but I do think Philly will fall off just a bit. I don't know if I really can trust Atlanta. So right now, I would say Boston, but Milwaukee's kind of off to a slow start. But we've only seen, again, as you mentioned, a handful of games. I think at the end of the day, it's probably going to be Milwaukee and Boston. And the last few years, we've thought that Boston could take that next step, and it just seems like they haven't. And at the end of the day, I do like Milwaukee, but right now, I'm just going to go ahead and say Boston.
But
Um,
with Milwaukee, let me ask you this before you go to the next conference. What is it that impresses you the most about Milwaukee? Because I don't think it's going to work.
well, I mean, again, number one, you have Giannis, a two-time MVP. You also brought in Damian Lillard. I know there was a lot of Bucks fans that liked it, but they weren't a fan of losing Drew Holiday. And I understand Holiday is a better defender than Lillard, but Lillard for once actually gets to be on. I shouldn't say for once because he had some decent teams with Portland, but he now gets to be on a team that is really good. Now he's not going to be the focal point. It's definitely still going to be Giannis, but I think when you got like Giannis, you got Lillard, you have Middleton, Lopez is a good player. All those players, it's just going to be. I think eventually it will work, and I think Boston's going to make it, going to win the whole thing in the East. I know it's very early, but I just like Boston or not Boston. Milwaukee is just so good right now. You got Lillard, Giannis, and I think for once Giannis can actually be, or not Giannis, Lillard can be on a really good team, and he doesn't necessarily have to. He doesn't necessarily have to, play a really good game just to win. So I just like Milwaukee.
I don't know, man. I'm just I gotta see it. We're dealing with variables that's unseen before.
Hmm.
Giannis have never played with the guy of Damian Lillard's caliber, and
Hmm.
Giannis has already won. Damian Lillard has never played with someone of Giannis's caliber, and Damian hasn't won. But Damian is in his prime, and Damian Lillard feels like he's the best point guard right now. I know he'll say whatever he want to say in the media when it comes to these interviews. I am not sold, JJ, that Damian Lillard is willing to play Robin for 82 games in Milwaukee. And you can sit up there and tell me, well, Giannis already admitted that he will defer to Damian Lillard. I think all of that is tongue in cheek. Giannis, even though he says he doesn't want to be a face of the league, Giannis is a superstar in the NBA who really haven't even reached his prime yet.
Hmm.
You're not going to have somebody of that caliber, of that stature, deferring to someone for a substantial amount, especially deferring to someone who hasn't won a championship yet.
Hmm.
So I think they are saying all the right things in the media right now, but I don't. I'm not sold that Damian Lillard is going to want to be Robin, or that these guys are not going to have any type of confusion or friction once we get 50, 60, 70 games in about who's going to end these games. And then you're dealing with a first year head coach that's unproven. Your third wheel and Chris Middleton. He's injury prone, even though he's an all-star. You lost a lot of defensive presence in Drew Holiday that you're not going to get from Damian Lillard, even though on the flip side, you can't get the offensive firepower from Drew that you get from Dame. Dame had the game winner last night. So it worked out well in certain aspects. But you look at the other night, Dame had a horrible first half, like 0 points. He couldn't hit anything. So,
Hmm.
it's just going to be a roller coaster ride. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk just because of the names on the jersey, bro. Chemistry, I think, means a lot. And that's the biggest thing with me when it comes to Milwaukee. I too feel like Boston right now might be the beast in the East. If Atlanta could get a big man, bro, I would like Atlanta.
Hmm.
But that's my thoughts on the East. What about the Western Conference? Who do you feel like is the best in the West, JJ?
Well, the West is loaded, and for the most part, I was somewhat impressed by how Dallas has performed this year. A lot of people didn't expect Dallas to be this good, but again, we've only seen a handful of games. But right now, it's going to be hard for anybody to beat Denver. They are just so good right now. You got Jokic.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray's playing well. I think Jamal Murray will finally make an all-star game this year or make an all-star team. Even Michael Porter's playing well. So I don't know if anybody really at the moment can really hang with Denver. And I mean, Jokic is the best player. I mean, for a while, I didn't think he was, but after that performance in the finals and after the performance so far this year, I think right now it's going to be hard for any team in the West to beat Denver. So
I would have agreed with you, bro, until last night. And I hate to say it because I am a Lakers fan. But you said it at the beginning of the show. Golden State to me is the best team in the Western Conference, bro. I'm sorry. Right now, today, I'm putting Golden State over the Denver Nuggets. I really am. I know they got identical records right now, but I feel like if they had to face each other right now in a 7-game series, the way they are playing right now, Steph, Clay, Steve Kerr, Chris Paul, Jonathan Kuminga, it's just I think they would give Denver a serious run for their money and their experience. I'm sorry, bro. I think Golden State right now is the best team in the Western Conference, even above the defending champions.
yeah. Well, Golden State is pretty good right now. And I think too, I mean, I think I was hearing yesterday Draymond Green talk about the chemistry. It's a lot better than it was this year than it was last year.
For
And
sure.
I mean, do
They had
you
Jordan
think
Poole on the line. They had Jordan Poole on the roster. They was
I was going to
fighting and
mention,
all that.
yeah. Do you think the loss of Jordan Poole is better for the Warriors or just trading him off?
Me, honestly, personally, it was a move that had to be done.
Mm-hmm.
But Golden State, like I'm always of the thought that Draymond Green is the real problem in Golden State. I know they're not looking to get rid of him at all, and people can sit up there and preach to the choir on how valuable and how he's the heart of that team. But I honestly feel like Golden State lost out on 1 to 2 more rings because of this guy alone. Alienating Kevin Durant, alienating Jordan Poole. Like, this guy has caused some success to the Golden State Warriors. And Jordan Poole and them did win a championship. But, I'm feeling like Draymond Green is really the problem at the end of the day. But the Jordan Poole move, it was just something that they had to do.
Yeah, I mean, they got Chris Paul, and he's looking pretty good right now. I'm still a little shocked to see Chris Paul in a Warriors uniform. I never thought I would see that, especially during his Clipper days.
But
So,
it's working because he's winning. But if they start losing, I'm watching Chris Paul. I want to know if he's going to start complaining, if he's going to feel like he could play more of a role. It's going to be interesting to see because Klay Thompson is playing pretty good. He had the game winner the other night. So Steph had the game winner last night. Klay had the game winner the other night. Those guys are gelling. Those guys are playing well. Right now, they are 5-1, tied with Denver for the best record in the Western Conference. So, yeah, Golden State right now looking good to me right now.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I mean, a 4-1 record, looking pretty good right now. I mean,
5-1 now. 5-1 now.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. So I wouldn't be surprised, but it's going to be fun to see Golden State and Denver play because I don't think they've played. Yeah, they haven't played yet. I can't wait to see that matchup.